Hello and welcome to one more program of Once Upon a Time. We're sure this is your favorite program. I'm Catherine Poulter. I'm the librarian for the children at the Marshall Public Library, and here is...
And I am Becca Hyde, and I am an early childhood librarian at Marshall Library as well.
And so we have such great books to share with you today. So sit back, relax, put your feet up, and get ready for some stories. This first book that I have for you is called Nanettes Baguette. And the words and pictures are by Mo Willems. Mo Willems is the man that wrote the story about Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. He's written many others about Elephant and Piggy, all sorts of great stories. And I think you'll like this one too. Nanettes Baguette. Here are some pictures of baguettes. A baguette is a kind of a delicious roll of bread, like a loaf, but it's long and skinny. Nanettes Baguette. Nanette! Today is a day Nanette won't soon forget. Today in the kitchenette, Mom tells Nanette that Nanette gets to get the baguette. Baguettes are warm. Baguettes smell wonderful. Getting to get the baguette is Nanette's biggest responsibility yet. Is Nanette set to get the baguette? You bet. But on the way, Nanette sees Georgette and Suzette and Brett with his clarinet. Look, there's Mr. Barnett with his pet Antoinette. Nanette pets Antoinette. Did Nanette forget the baguette? Got a jet, I've got a baguette to get, says Nanette to the quartet. Baker Juliet has met Nanette. She knows it is Nanette's first baguette get. So Juliet gets Nanette the best baguette yet. Nanette, did you get the baguette? You bet! The baguette is warm. The baguette smells wonderful. And there sure is a lot of it. Crack! The baguette is warm. The baguette tastes wonderful, and there still is a lot of it. Crack! The baguette is still warm. The baguette still tastes wonderful, and there is still some of it. Can Nanette stop tasting the baguette? Not yet. Crack, 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 crack. Baguette. Oh no. There is no more baguette. Nanette begins to fret. Will Mom be upset? Will Mom regret she let Nanette get the baguette? Kaboom! Now Nanette is wet with no baguette. This is as bad as it can get. Nanette wishes Mom had never let Nanette get that baguette. Maybe Nanette will move to Tibet. Tibet is as far away as you can get. Nanette would need a jet. Can Nanette go home instead? Can Nanette face her mom? What will she do? Where's the baguette, Nanette? Asked Mom. Did you forget? Nanette did not forget. Nanette is upset. Nanette is beset with regret. She sweats. I ate the baguette! Oh, sweetie. Mom hugs Nanette. It is warm. It is wonderful. Like a million baguettes. The day is not over yet, Nanette, says Mom. Let's reset. Yes, let's! Baker Juliet is surprised to see Nanette, but not too surprised. Nanette's mom gets another baguette. Now they are all set. Mom, Nanette, and a baguette. The baguette is warm. The baguette smells wonderful. Crack! Mom! Today is a day Nanette won't forget. The end.
I'm so hungry for a baguette now.
Yes. And a warm mom hug.
Oh, the best.
Yes.
The first book that I will read today is about a couple of turkeys, Bob and Tom. It's written and illustrated by Dennis Kazet. And even though these turkeys may not be the smartest in the barnyard, they do enjoy being friends together and having a good time. Bob and Tom. For Pat and Sherry Cannon. 6:45 a.m. Bob and Tom sat in the farmer's yard. The sky was dark and stormy. "I guess the sun isn't coming today," said Tom. "Nope," said Bob. "Rain's coming." Tom agreed. Yep. It rained. "It's wet," Tom noticed. "It's the water," Bob explained. Bob jumped up. "We need to find some dry spots." Tom jumped up. "Where?" "Anywhere." Tom looked down. He saw 2 dry spots. Then he said, "See? Dry spots. One for me and one for you." Bob and Tom sat down. The rain stopped. The sun came out. "So," said Tom, "what do you want to do today?" 10:19 a.m. Tom pecked at some corn. Bob stared at Tom. Tom stopped pecking. "What's the matter?" "Nothing," Bob shrugged. "I was just thinking." "About what?" "Your head." "Is it gone?" Tom asked. "No," said Bob. "I was just wondering if there was anything up there, on the inside." "There must be something in there." "Really? How do you know?" "I'll look," said Tom. He closed his eyes. He looked in toward the middle. "It's dark in there. I can't see anything." "I knew it," Bob gasped. "It's empty. No wonder I have to think of everything. You don't even need a head." "Don't be silly," said Tom. "If I didn't have a head, I wouldn't have a place to put a hat." "How true," said Bob. "I should have thought of that." 2:33 p.m. Tom and Bob walked down the dirt road. The sun was hot. The air was muggy. They saw the farmer's grandchildren swimming in the pond. "That looks like fun," said Tom. "Let's jump in and cool off." "What?" cried Bob. "Jump in? Do you want to sink?" Tom watched the children swimming in the pond. "They are not sinking." "Of course not," Bob declared. "They're wearing suits that swim." "Suits that swim," Bob sighed. "Why do you think they're called swimming suits?" "Oh," Tom muttered. "I didn't know." Bob shook his head sadly. "I have to think of everything," he complained. Tom pointed at the farmer's house. "I saw a suit that swims hanging on the farmer's clothesline. I will get it." Tom ran fast. He ran to the clothesline and grabbed Mrs. Farmer's swimming suit. He ran back so fast that he crashed into Bob. They fell into the pond. "Help!" Bob cried. "Help! Help! We're not wearing the suits that swim." Tom saw Mrs. Farmer's swimming suit. "There!" he yelled. "I see it. It broke into 2 pieces, a part for you and a part for me. Put it on before we sink." "Phew!" Bob wheezed. "That was close." "No kidding," said Tom. 5:15 p.m. Tom and Bob picked some peas in the farmer's garden. Bob stopped pea picking. He looked sad. "What's the matter?" Tom asked. "My name," said Bob. "I had it a minute ago and now it's gone." "Where did you leave it?" Bob tried to remember. "I don't know." "What did it look like?" "It was small like yours," Bob sniffed, "and it had a round thing in the middle." "Like mine? Don't you remember?" "No," said Tom. I must have left mine with yours." Tom and Bob looked in the potato patch. They looked under the farmer's beehives. They could not find their names. "Maybe they were stolen," Bob suggested. "Ask the cow," said Bob. Ask her if she's seen our names." Excuse me," said Tom. "Have you seen anyone with names that don't belong to them?" "What did they look like?" asked the cow. "They were small," Tom explained, "and they had a round thing in the middle like a donut." "What kind of donut? Plain, glazed, jelly, or old-fashioned? Any sprinkles?" "I forgot," said Bob. "Nope," said the cow. "Sorry." They searched everywhere. They asked and asked, but no one had seen any names that didn't belong to them. 2 turkeys crossed the road and plopped down in the shade of an old oak tree. "Oh, how sad," Bob moaned. "When we had names, we were somebodies, and now our names are gone and we're nobodies." "We must be somebodies," said Tom. "I can see you. Do you see me?" "Of course," Bob said, "but who are you? Who am I talking to? Without a name, I can't see the who in you." "Maybe we need new names," Tom suggested. "Something to put back the who." "Like what?" "Well," said Tom, "I could call you Bob." "Oh!" Bob cried. "That's a wonderful name." "Yes," said Tom, "and it has a donut in the middle." "I'll call you Tom," said Bob. "That name has a donut in the middle, too." "Plain or glazed?" Tom asked. "Plain," said Bob. "Mine is glazed." Bob and Tom walked proudly down the road with their new names. 7:14 p.m. After dinner, Bob and Tom watched the sun go down. "There it goes," said Tom. "Yep," said Bob. "Just like always." Tom nodded. "I wonder why." "Why?" "Yes, why? Why does the sun come up in the morning and go down at night?" "In the morning," Bob explained, "the sun is full of hot air, so it rises like a balloon. By the end of the day, the air is used up, and so it sinks." "It has a leak?" Tom asked. "The sun is old," Bob said. "It takes all night to refill it." "Where?" "At the gas station." "Wow," said Tom. "You are so smart." "I know," Bob agreed. "We are what we are." "I know something too," said Tom. "Really?" "Yep. I know what we're going to do today." "At last," Bob remarked. "What?" "Sleep." "Oh, right," Bob agreed. "So, what do you want to do tomorrow?" Another day in the farmyard.
Oh, that was
Bob
great.
and Tom.
Thank you. I really like that. This next book is one I really, really like. Have you ever been drawing something and all of a sudden you make a mistake? This book is called The Book of Mistakes. And look what happens when you make a mistake. Maybe it isn't always a mistake. In fact, everybody, everywhere, is still a work in progress. Okay, here's the first page. It has a little blot of ink on it. And it's called The Book of Mistakes. And look, there's that blot of ink again. This is by Corina Lucan. It started with one mistake. Making the other eye even bigger was another mistake. But the glasses, they were a good idea. The elbow and the extra long neck, mistakes. But the collar ruffled with patterns of lace and stripes, that was a good idea. And the elbow patches, they were a good idea too. The bush was another good idea, dark and leafy, so that you couldn't see through it. to the frog, cat, cow thing. Another mistake. The big space between the ground and the bottom of the girl's shoe was a little bit of a mistake too. But the roller skates, those were definitely not a mistake. The second frog, cat, cow thing made a very nice rock. And the girl with the very long leg looks like she always meant to be climbing that tree. Even the ink smudges scattered across the sky look as if they could be leaves, like they'd always wanted to be lifted up and carried. And what about the girl? There she is. Look, she has strings and a balloon. And a lot of balloons. And a lot of balloons going over to this big tree. And all sorts of things. Balloons and pink things and a blanket and a tent. Do you see how with each mistake she is becoming? Do you see now who she could be? And that is the end. Ah, beautiful.
That really is a beautiful book.
It is.
This is a beautiful book too. This book is the book of the month for Storytime all throughout September. And I love it. It's a book written by Cynthia Rylant, and the illustrations are by Brendan Wenzel. It's titled Life, and it really makes you think about how much there is to love about life on this planet. Life. Life begins small. Even for the elephants. Then it grows. Beneath the sun and the moon. Life grows. Ask any animal on earth, what do you love about life? The hawk will say the sky. The camel will say sand. The snake will say grass. The turtle may remain quiet. It has seen much in its 100 years. But the turtle loves life. How could it not, with so much rain on its back? Life is not always easy. There's a bluebird struggling in the storm. There will probably be a stretch of wilderness now and then. But wilderness eventually ends. And there is always a new road to take. Remember this. In every corner of the world, there is something to love. And something to protect. And if one day it seems nothing beautiful will ever come your way again, trust the rabbit in the field and the deer who crosses your path. Trust the wolf and the wild geese who find their way back home. All these know something about life, that everything is changing. And it is worth waking up in the morning to see what might happen. because life begins small and grows. There's a beautiful picture right there too. The end.
Oh, I love that book, yes. There is so much to love in this world. So much to love. Now, this book, the next one, is called Trollbella Throws a Party, and it's about a little princess queen girl who has a birthday. Here we go. Trollbella Throws a Party by Chris Colfer and illustrated by Brandon Dorman. Once upon a time, there was a little troll girl named Trollbella. She was the queen of an underground kingdom where trolls and goblins lived. Trollbella's favorite thing about being a queen was getting to throw a big birthday party for herself. And this year, she wanted her party to be extra special. So the little troll queen ordered a cake that was so tall she needed a ladder to blow out the candles. She got herself stacks of presents that piled all the way up to the kingdom's rocky ceiling. I have 40 layers of cake and presents by the dozen. But this party feels incomplete, Trollbella said. Something is missing, but I don't know what. So Trollbella added a clown who made her balloons and a magician who did incredible tricks. She had her face painted, and she got whiskers and stripes like a tiger. She hired a band of goblin musicians who played all her favorite tunes. I thought jokes, magic, and music would make my party a blast, Trollbella said. Every troll queen deserves to have fun on her birthday, but I'm as bored as a sunken ship. In her last attempt to make the party a hit, Trollbella threw herself a carnival. There was a Ferris wheel, a carousel, and a roller coaster. There were swings and slides and bouncy houses. It was everything a troll girl could want. Unfortunately, it still wasn't enough to make the troll queen happy. Looking at all the exciting things around her only made Trollbella feel empty. Just then, Trollbella heard a great big laugh come from the Ferris wheel. I didn't give anyone permission to have fun, she said. How dare they enjoy my party without me? Trollbella found a tiny goblin boy who had sneaked into her party. He smiled and squealed and laughed as the Ferris wheel looped around. He was having so much fun that Trollbella grinned and giggled just from watching him. When the Ferris wheel came to a stop, the goblin boy saw Trollbella and shivered in fear. Your trollness, please forgive me, the goblin boy said. I didn't mean to be rude. You see, it's my birthday too, but my family is poor, so I didn't get very much. Your party looked like so much fun, I couldn't resist. Nothing at the party was making her happy except seeing the goblin boy smile. Suddenly, Trollbella understood what her party had been missing, and she knew how to fix it. Are you kidding? She told the goblin boy. This party is all for you. You've just ruined the surprise. Now go get your friends and family. Tell the whole kingdom to come and join your celebration. The goblin boy couldn't believe his ears. No one had ever done anything so nice for him in his whole life. He raced through all the troll and goblin neighborhoods, spreading the word, and returned with everyone in the kingdom. Welcome, ghoulish subjects, Trollbella said. It is this goblin boy's birthday, and I order you to have some fun, so grab some cake and take home some presents. Let's make this party one we'll all remember. The trolls and goblins happily did as their queen commanded. They laughed at the clown and were dazzled by the magician. They danced to the music until their feet started to ache, and then they had their faces painted. They petted all the animals in the magical zoo, then rode all the rides in the carnival until their stomachs couldn't take any more. The goblin boy's excitement grew as he watched all his friends and family having such a good time. However, when the party was over, his smile started to fade. What's What's wrong? Trollbella asked. Does the splendor and awesomeness of your party overwhelm you? No, the party is wonderful, like something from a dream, he said, but it's your birthday too, and I have nothing to give you. Don't be silly, little goblin boy, Trollbella said. Seeing you smile was the best present a troll girl could ever ask for. Everything is much more fun when you have someone to share it with. And that is so true. The end.
Isn't it? Very. Here are a couple of barnyard animals that are ready to share an adventure.
Oh, very good.
This book is Baba and William, written by David Elliott and illustrated by Melissa Sweet. This is William. He is a sheep. You will note that William is reading. There are not many sheep who read, but William is one of them. And this is Babwa, also a sheep. In this picture, Babwa is knitting. Knitting is a very practical hobby for a sheep. It's surprising not much of them do it. Oh well. Babwa and William are best friends. They spend most days reading and knitting, knitting and reading. Sounds kind of boring, but they like it. One day, William looked up from his book, an adventure story. Pirates, treasure chests, that sort of thing. I've been thinking, he said to Babwa. Thinking is good, Babwa answered, or so I've heard. We should have an adventure of our own, said William. Agreed, said Babwa. There are only so many sweaters one sheep can knit. And so the two friends set off. The day was perfect for such a thing. The flowers were blooming, the sun was shining, the birds were singing. This last bit about the birds was especially good because adventures usually involve some kind of trouble, and it's nice to have a little bird song to help you through it. There was, however, a problem. Babwa and William live in a field, and the field was surrounded by a stone wall. Which way? Asked William. You decide, Babwa answered. Left then, said William. Babwa thought they should have gone right. The two sheep walked around the field. Once, twice, 3 times. Is this what adventures are like? Babwa asked. All this walking, I mean? I don't know, said William, but I do know it's making me hungry. Me too, Babwa replied. Grass, anyone? The two friends were just finishing their lunch when quite unexpectedly they were approached by a third sheep. A sheep with a long rangy tail, a sheep with a sharp whiskered snout, a sheep with a filthy wool coat. Hey there, mutton chops, said the sheep. What's shakin'? When he grinned, Babwa's heart broke. His mother had never taught him to brush his teeth. We've been looking for an adventure, William said. Look no longer, the new sheep said. You've found one. And he snapped his horrid teeth most unpleasantly. Run, said William. It's that wolf in the sheep's clothing I've read about. If this is an adventure, said Babwa, I'm not a fan. Suddenly, the wolf stopped his shenanigans. Let's quit this nonsense for a minute, he said to William. I'm interested in that thing you said earlier. What thing? Asked William. That thing about me, said the wolf. William thought for a moment. Not sure, he said. But Babwa's memory was better than William's. He said he's read about you, she said to the wolf. The wolf's eyes, which up to now had been kind of shifty looking, grew round and large. Is it true? He asked William. Have you? Have you actually read about me? See for yourself, said William. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a book. The wolf took a step backward. He looked at the blue sky. He looked at the green grass. He looked at the big stone wall. He did not look at the book. Oh dear, said William. I see the problem. What problem? Said the wolf. There's no problem. You can't read, can you? Said William. The wolf howled a mournful, lupine howl. He dropped his shaggy head. Bob was heartbroken for a second time as a salty tear fell on her soft cheek and the ground. "It's not my fault," the wolf cried. "I'm just not the reading kind." "William can teach you, you know," said Bobwa. The wolf lifted his head and looked at William. "Would you?" asked the wolf. "Would you do that for me?" William didn't seem so sure. "Of course he would," said Bobwa, "and in the meantime, I'll knit you a new coat. That one is a disgrace." And so William went about the business of teaching the wolf to read. It wasn't easy. The wolf often jumped up in the middle of a lesson and chased the two sheep around the field. This irritated William to no end. "Don't let it get to you, William," said Bobwa. "He is just following his nature. Besides, all that reading and knitting has taken its toll. We can use the exercise." Eventually, after a lot of hard work and several extra help sessions, the wolf did learn to read. And when he saw what the book had said about him, he was outraged. "That is so unfair," he complained. "It says here I'm cruel and sneaky." "And your point?" said William. "It's not true," the wolf insisted. "I'm just rambunctious." "That's one word for it," said Bobwa. And so, over time, an unlikely friendship formed between the wolf and the two sheep, one that involved a fair amount of chasing, but there were some quiet times too. One afternoon, when the wolf was on the second volume of a new series he liked, and the two sheep had shed quite a few pounds, William turned to Bobwa. "This has been quite an adventure after all," he said. Bobwa put down her knitting, a set of snazzy leg warmers for the wolf. "I agree," she replied. "Much better than pirates." The wolf looked up from his book. "Can you two chattercheeks keep the noise down?" he said. "I'm reading over here." The end.
Oh, I like that book. I wonder if we could read that to some first graders.
I bet they would enjoy it.
I think so too. Now, this next book is a book in English and in Spanish. There are a lot of books like this at the library. I'm just going to read the English because you really don't want to hear me try to say Spanish words. If it were Polish, that would be another thing, but Spanish, I'm afraid my pronunciation isn't very good. But if you know how to speak Spanish, you can come to the library and choose a lot of books that are written in Spanish and sometimes also in English and read those. This one is a favorite of mine. It's called Are You My Mother? You've probably heard this before. It's written by P.D. Eastman. Are you my mother? A mother bird sat on her egg. The egg jumped. "Oh, oh," said the mother. "My baby will be here. He will be hungry. He will want to eat." "I must get something for my baby bird to eat," she said. "I will be back." So away she went. The egg jumped. It jumped, and it jumped, and it jumped. Out came the baby bird. "Where is my mother?" he said. He looked for her. He looked up. He did not see her. He looked down. He did not see her. "I will go and look for her," he said. So away he went. Down out of the tree he went. Boom. Down, down, down was a long way down. The baby bird could not fly. He could not fly, but he could walk. "Now I will go and find my mother," he said. He did not know what his mother looked like. He went right by her. He did not see her. He came to a kitten. "Are you my mother?" he said to the kitten. The kitten just looked and looked. It did not say a thing. The kitten was not his mother, so he went on. Then he came to a hen. "Are you my mother?" he said to the hen. "No," said the hen. The kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. So the baby bird went on. "I have to find my mother," he said, "but where is she? Where could she be?" Then he came to a dog. "Are you my mother?" he said to the dog. "I am not your mother. I am a dog," said the dog. The kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. The dog was not his mother. So the baby bird went on. Now he came to a cow. "Are you my mother?" he said to the cow. "How could I be your mother?" said the cow. "I am a cow." The kitten and the hen were not his mother. The dog and the cow were not his mother. Did he have a mother? "I did have a mother," said the baby bird. "I know I did. I have to find her. I will, I will." Now the baby bird did not walk. He ran. Then he saw a car. Could that old thing be his mother? No, it could not. The baby bird did not stop. He ran on and on. He looked way down. He saw a boat. "There she is," said the baby bird. He called to the boat, but the boat did not stop. The boat went on. He looked way, way up. He saw a big plane. "Here I am, mother," he called out. But the plane did not stop. The plane went on. Just then the baby bird saw a big thing. "This must be his mother. There she is," he said. "There is my mother." He ran up to it. "Mother, mother, here I am, mother," he said. He said it to the big thing. But the big thing just said, "Snort." "Oh, you are not my mother," said the baby bird. "You are a snort. I have to get out of here." "Snort." But the baby bird could not get away. The snort went up. It went way, way up, and up, up, up went the baby bird. But now where was the snort going? Oh, 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 what is this snort going to do? What is it going to do to me? Get me out of here! Just then, the snort came to a stop. "Where am I?" said the baby bird. "I want to go home. I want my mother." Then something happened. The snort put the baby bird right back in the tree. The baby bird was home. Just then the mother bird came back to the tree. "Do you know who I am?" she said to her baby. "Yes, I know who you are," said the baby bird. "You are not a kitten, you are not a hen, you are not a dog, you are not a cow, you are not a boat, you are not a snort. You are a bird, and you are my mother." And look, there they are in the nest together. The end.
A classic delight.
Yes.
This book is titled Over in the Meadow, and it's really a kind of celebration to meadows and animals and the end of the summer. And I will just say before I read it that the word seven and even don't exactly rhyme, but it's still good anyway. It's all good.
Yes.
Over in the Meadow by Olive A. Wadsworth and Anna Voshtek. Over in the meadow, in the sand, in the sun, lived an old mother turtle and her little turtle one. "Dig," said the mother.
We dig," said the one. So they dug all day in the sand, in the sun.
Oh, it's nice to have you sing.
Over in the meadow where the stream runs blue lived an old mother fish and her little fishies too. "Swim," said the mother. "We swim," said the two. So they swam all day where the stream runs blue. Over in the meadow in a hole in a tree lived an old mother owl and her little owls three. "Too-hoo," said the mother. "Too-hoo," said the three. So they too-hooed all day in a hole in a tree. Over in the meadow by the old barn door lived an old mother rat and her little ratties four. Gnaw, said the mother, we gnaw, said the four, so they gnawed all day by the old barn door. Over in the meadow in a snug beehive lived an old mother bee and her little bees five. Buzz, said the mother, we buzz, said the five, so they buzzed all day in a snug beehive. Over in the meadow in a nest built of sticks lived an old mother crow and her little crows six. Caw, said the mother, we caw, said the six, so they cawed all day in a nest built of sticks. Over in the meadow where the grass grows so even lived an old mother frog and her little froggies seven. Jump, said the mother, we jump, said the seven, so they jumped all day where the grass grows so even. Over in the meadow by the old mossy gate lived an old mother lizard and her little lizards eight. Bask, said the mother, we bask, said the eight, so they basked all day by the old mossy gate. Over in the meadow by the old Scotch pine lived an old mother duck and her little ducks nine. Quack, said the mother, we quack, said the nine, so they quacked all day by the old Scotch pine. Over in the meadow in a cozy wee den lived an old mother beaver and her little beavers 10. Beef, said the mother, we beeve, said the 10, so they beaved all day in a cozy wee den.
The end.
Oh, that
Beaving
was
and
nice. Whatever that is. Oh, I have another book for you. This one is by Julia Donaldson and illustrated by Alex Scheffler, and it's called Charlie Cook's Favorite Book. And it's quite an adventure that Charlie has. Here we go. This whole bookshelf is filled with Charlie's favorite books. And here he is carrying some books. Once upon a time there was a boy called Charlie Cook who curled up in a cozy chair and read his favorite book. About a leaky pirate ship that very nearly sank and a pirate chief who got the blame and had to walk the plank. The chief swam to an island and went digging with his hook. At last he found a treasure chest, and in it was a book about a girl called Goldilocks and 3 indignant bears who cried, "Who's had our porridge? Who's been sitting on our chairs?" They went into the bedroom, and Baby Bear said, "Look, she's in my bed, and what is more, she's got my favorite book. About Sir Percy Pilkington, a bold and fearless knight, who told the dragon, 'Wait, I'm not quite ready for the fight. You must hear this one first.' And then his armor clanked and shook. Ho, ho, he, as he read aloud a joke he'd found inside his favorite book. About Rowena Red-a-Lot, a very well-read frog who jumped upon a lily pad and jumped upon a log, then jumped into the library that stood beside the brook and went read it, as she jumped upon a book. About an old oak tree full of birds. Each bird had built a nest, and they had a competition to decide which one was best. They chose an owl to judge it, and the winner was a rook, whose nest was lined with pages from his very favorite book. About a girl who saw a flying saucer in the sky. Some small green men were in it, and they waved as they flew by. She tugged her mother's sleeve and said, "Look, Mom, what I've just seen." But Mom said, "Hush, I'm trying to read my favorite magazine." About a wicked jewel thief who stole the king's best crown, but then got stuck beside some sheep, which slowed his car right down. The king got on the phone, and soon the cops had caught the crook and flung him into prison, where he he read his favorite book about a greedy crocodile who got fed up with fish and went on land to try to find some other kind of dish. He went into a bookshop and there grew even greedier while reading on page 90 of a large encyclopedia about the biggest birthday cake the world had ever seen. A team of royal cake makers had made it for the queen. The cake was so delicious that a famous spaceman took a slice of it to Jupiter. He also took a book about a ghost who glided round a castle every night, carrying her head and giving everyone a fright. She kept it up till morning. Then she found a shady nook and put her head back on again to read her favorite book. About a cozy armchair and a boy called Charlie Cook. The end.
Thank you for that book.
Yes.
Here is a book by Inga Moore titled A House in the Woods, and it's just a nice, warm, cozy kind of story, and the illustrations are delightful. That's why I chose it. This book is dedicated to beavers, who are the fastest and best builders in the world, and especially to the new beavers of Scotland, who have just moved back in after many years away. Good luck, beavers. A House in the Woods by Inga Moore. A little pig had made a den for herself in the woods. Next door, another little pig had made himself a hut. One morning, the two little pigs went out walking together. One little pig found a feather, and the other found an interesting stick. But when the first little pig brought her feather home to her den, she discovered that Bear had moved in, which she didn't mind because she liked Bear. But Bear was so big that, oh dear, the den was wrecked. And when the second little pig went to his hut with his stick, he discovered that Moose had moved in, which he didn't mind either because he liked Moose. But Moose was even bigger than Bear, and when he stood up politely to say good morning, crash, the hut was also wrecked, which left the two little pigs with nowhere to live, not to mention Moose and Bear. This was a pickle, it really was. Then Moose had a brilliant idea. Why not build a big house where they could all live together? Well, that was a good idea, except that building a big house with real windows and doors, a roof, stairs, and chimney stacks isn't easy. They couldn't do it on their own. So Moose called the beavers on the telephone. And soon afterward, a team of beaver builders came to help them. The beavers said that they wished to be paid in peanut butter sandwiches. No one had any objection. So they felled the timber, munch, 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 and the work began. By lunchtime, the walls of the house were up. And by dinner time, the roof was on. The lunch and dinner times were on different days, of course. Beavers are fast, but not that fast. Bear made the staircase and chimney stacks, while Moose fitted the windows and doors. Then they both went with the two little pigs to the junkyard for furniture and curtains and all the other things that go inside a house. At last, the house was finished. The beavers handed them their bill and left. There was just enough time to get to the store to buy the bread and the peanut butter. Then the little pigs helped Moose and Bear make 6 plates of peanut butter sandwiches, which they delivered in person to the beavers, who had all gone back to their lodge on the lake. It had been a busy time for the little pigs and Moose and Bear. They had worked hard. Had it been worth it? What do you think? Just look, what a beautiful new house they have. Bear went to bed first because she was so tired, and after they had finished their supper and washed the dishes, told stories for a while around the fire. Moose and the two little pigs climbed the stairs to bed. Soon, the only sounds to be heard were the soft cheeps of sleepy birds roosting in the rafters and the tiny rustling of wood mice in the fallen leaves outside, and just now and then the gentle snoring of Bear. Good night, Bear. Good night, Moose. Good night, little pigs. The end.
Oh, what a nice story. A house in the woods.
A house in the woods.
Oh, that's so nice. I have one last one. It's called Dragons Love Tacos. It's by Adam Rubin and illustrated by Daniel Salmieri. And oh, I love tacos, but I think dragons probably like them even more. Dragons love tacos. There's a taco cave. Hey kid, did you know that dragons love tacos? They love beef tacos and chicken tacos. They love really big, gigantic tacos and tiny little baby tacos as well. Why do dragons love tacos? Maybe it's the smell from the sizzling pan. Maybe it's the crunch of the crispy tortillas. Maybe it's a secret. Either way, if you want to make friends with dragons, tacos are key. Hey dragon, why do you guys love tacos so much? But wait, as much as dragons love tacos, they hate spicy salsa even more. They hate spicy green salsa and spicy red salsa. They hate spicy chunky salsa and spicy smooth salsa. If the salsa is spicy at all, dragons can't stand it. Why do dragons hate spicy salsa? Well, just one drop of hot sauce makes a dragon's ears smoke. Just one single speck of hot pepper makes a dragon snort sparks. Spicy salsa gives dragons the tummy troubles. And when dragons get the tummy troubles, oh boy. If you want to make tacos for dragons, keep the toppings mild. Tomatoes, lettuce, cheese. These are all good toppings for tacos for dragons. Hey dragon, how do you feel about spicy taco sauce topping? Dragons love parties. They like costume parties and pool parties. They like big, gigantic parties with accordions and tiny little parties with charades. Why do dragons love parties? Maybe it's the conversation. Maybe it's the dancing. Maybe it's the comforting sound of a good friend's laughter. The only thing dragons love more than parties or tacos is taco parties. Taco parties are parties with lots of tacos. If you want to have some dragons over for a taco party, you'll need buckets of tacos, pant loads of tacos. The best way to judge is to get a boat and fill the boat with tacos. That's about how many tacos dragons need for a taco party. After all, dragons love tacos. Hey dragon, are you excited for the big taco party? Just remember, dragons hate spicy salsa. Before you host your taco party with dragons, get rid of all the spicy salsa. In fact, bury the spicy salsa in the backyard so the dragons can't find it. The dragons love your taco party. They love the music. They love the decorations. They especially love the tacos. Congratulations! It's a good thing you got rid of all that spicy. Wait a second. What are those little green things in the salsa? You didn't read the fine print? Totally mild salsa with an asterisk. Now with spicy jalapeno peppers. dragons, listen to me. Do not eat those tacos. Those little green spices in the salsa, those are jalapeno peppers. They are super spicy. I know you love tacos, dragons, but you are not going to love those tacos. Do not eat those, do not let those dragons eat those tacos. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Too late. Oh no. Why would dragons help you rebuild your house? Maybe they're good Samaritans. Maybe they feel bad for wrecking it. Maybe they're just in it for the taco breaks. After all, dragons love tacos. The end. And that is the end of our story time today. Thank you for joining us. Please come to the library and find some other books that you will like to read. And we would love to see you. Thank you.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Please come.